Is my first live webinar with Tern, so super happy to put this together for you all. So today we're talking about Tern for groups. I've met many of you and many people who are doing groups. We are talking about destination weddings. We're talking about traveling corporate groups. We're talking about a bunch of friends, right? Like 10, 12 friends who travel every year. Those are all groups and those are all things you can plan with Tern. So in order for us to kind of best understand the demo portion of today, I have a brief presentation that we're going to talk about, the mindset behind Tern, how it's working for groups, and then talk about what we're going to look at in the actual demo. So with that in mind, going on here to the presentation is Tern was born out of the fact that technology has all of these interconnected things in the travel world. So what's going on now currently, especially in groups, is you might be building the proposal, working with the groups department at your favorite property that this couple or for a wedding or a group of travelers is going to. And then you're trying to collect signups on one platform, send itineraries on another, manage options and selections, all while doing that. That's where we're stepping in. We're really taking this approach that we had when we built Tern and translating it into the groups part as well. So with the groups in Tern, no more are the days of having clients, trying to fill out the form and saying, well, I need to select this room and I need to authorize my payment separately because you need to send me back my quote based on my room selections. We've actually boiled it all down to one simple and easy process. So with that in mind, we call everything that is inefficient, we call it invisible work. So if you saw on the last slide, we had all of those arrows connecting the different parts of your process. Our goal is to eliminate that. So hashtag end invisible work. If you're sharing later, feel free to use it and we'll know where you came from today. As far as what we've done on the individual side, we're very happy to say that we've done the same on the group side. So we've made managing groups just as easy as it is to manage individual groups through Tern. We know historically it's been tough with that kind of piecemeal solution, going back and forth, spending all of that extra time, when in reality, you can do the preparation ahead of time in Tern and then allow your clients to self-service. That's kind of the best word of the day here is going to be self-service. So to kind of tie that together, I made this graphic. You can tell maybe graphic design is not my number one skill, but it's still going to kind of serve to show some of these activities that you're doing in the groups, how they're not connected today and how we can help you connect them in Tern. So whether it's collecting traveler information, collaborating with other admins or other advisors that you work with, having clients make selections, building a website to collect the forms from travelers, managing traveler confirmation numbers, sending out itineraries, and keeping them up to date on the travel, all of those are considered different systems or different parts of the process. That's where we really help right now step in and make it one self-service solution. So our whole idea here and what we're going to practice today is building an itinerary and building a landing page, two very simple processes in Tern that then are translated over to your group. So that means that your travelers are able to go in, look at this beautiful landing page. It keeps synergy between the group and the actual travel portion of it. Therefore, they're able to see images, they're able to see text, they're able to see information about what this group is here for, right? Whether it's a wedding, whether it's a corporate group, you're able to create that synergy on a landing page. From there, they're then able to self-service sign up, make selections such as the room type they want. Maybe they want multiple hotel rooms, or maybe they want to do an optional excursion. We're going to look at how to build all of that today. And then what they're finally delivered is a beautiful itinerary that is custom for them based off those selections without any added steps from your end. So brief visuals here. This is what we're talking about when we're saying landing page. We're keeping your brand, your visibility up front. And then when it's talking about the actual form and selecting options, this is a brief preview of what the client experience is. You can see they can select different room options or number of rooms. And then finally tying it all together, as I briefly mentioned, creating a sub trip. So what's going to happen is your client goes in, they're going to fill out the group information, they're going to join that group, authorize their credit card, all in one brief step. And then now they're officially a sub trip. Sub trips are really cool as well because they still allow for customization. I've heard lots of stories of travel advisors who've had maybe a family go to a destination wedding for a week. And then they decide, hey, I want to stay for another week after that. I'm already there. Can you help me plan an additional part of my trip? And the short answer to that is yes. You can actually go in and edit into anyone's individual sub trip to have stuff that was outside the bounds of anything you ever planned on planning for them. So, really cool. I'll talk on that a little bit. And before we get kicked into it, I do want to actually show you a live demo. This is coincidental, I think, but a live demo of one of the best landing pages on Tern. We all spent a little bit of time helping build this, and it's actually for our users conference. So Grace and I will both be there. We'll be doing lots of conversation, meeting different advisors, and we actually have live sessions similar to this, talking about different ways to grow your business, to focus on different parts of your business, and all while using Tern. So I want to highlight that real quick, a quick plug for it. Here's our users conference. Grace, you have anything to add on that while I'm scrolling through?
I do. You just know I do. Guys, I just want to throw it out there. We just started promoting our users conference. And if you don't think that you're going right now, let me just tell you, you need to absolutely take a look at what users conference is going to be. We have put together an incredible, basically like university at sea. Itinerary for everyone. We have both super users, people brand new to Tern, anyone that's in our ecosystem that wants to join us for a few days at sea while we give you some of the best speakers in the industry. We're doing like real-time workshops. If you're like, I have no time to build out workflows in my platform for all of my groups and whatever, great. We're going to be doing multiple sessions where we sit down with you. We're going to have so many different learnings from social media and business development and photography, to your actual Tern platform, to how to sell better, to how to be more organized, you name it. Anyway, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be there, which should just be reason enough. I'll send the link here in the chat, but my spiel's over. You guys should totally come. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Grace. Yes, and our spiel on this is over for now. We're going to get really into the nuts and bolts of this now and actually go ahead and plan a group trip. So with that in mind, let me exit out of this tab. I'm going to go on over to my Tern homepage. And you can see I've got a bunch of stuff going on, but we're going to start fresh, right from scratch here, and click on new trip in the top right. So by creating a new trip, we can create a trip name. I'm going to make a wedding page for one of my friends, Dan Walsh. So I'm going to call this the Walsh Wedding. Our trip type is going to be a group trip because that will allow us to utilize the sub trips and landing page. You can put tags on this if you'd like, and you can put travel start dates if you'd like, or add the dates later. For this case, I'm going to do travel start dates. I'm going to say Dan came to me a couple days ago, and he's going to get married in September of 2026. So I'm going to select the first, actually, I'm going to select the 31st through the 6th for this right here. So by creating a trip, we are now on the overview, right? And on our overview, you can see this sub trips button. We have no sub trips added yet because we haven't gotten there to the client. So what we're going to do is we're going to start an itinerary. This is where we're going to build out the itinerary for this trip. I've already selected a hotel. So anyone who's at the Romance Travel Forum, you know where we're going. We're going to the Ava Resort Cancun. So by dragging in our lodging block on the right hand of the side or of the screen, we can type in our resort and we're going to say Ava Cancun, and we'll automatically pull in the description of the resort as they're uploaded to our partner Giada. So all of the hotels are managing their own descriptions, keeping those updated, and you can see those pull in here. As well, we're going to set our check-in and check-out dates, and this is going to be one of our first stopping points relative to group trips specifically. You can see up here we have schedule type, and it says fixed. On a group trip, we can now do flexible dates. So we can say that anyone coming on this trip can check in August 31st. They can check out for this case. This is really helpful as part of that self-service to allow travelers to go in and say, hey, I work during the week, so I can only go on the weekend, or I work not during the week, so I can go the whole time. So this is an example of something within the groups functionality that's helpful for your travelers. When we go up here to rooms, we're also room options. So simply by clicking the convert to options button, we've now my screen here. This is what I call my sample groups contract. Believe I might have lost you all for a second, but okay, over here on this side of the screen, I made a sample groups contract. I wanted to show that we've contracted with the venue. We've contracted 20 king suites, and we've also contracted 20 family suites. We have a description of it, and we also have rates based on occupancy. I'm going to show you how we build all of this into Tern. So if I go ahead and copy the description, and I call this the Ocean View King Suite, I put in the description here, and then for total inventory, I'm just moving you all up here, all of your images. I'm going to say we have 20 rooms. This is something that we're tracking live based off of the bookings being made in Tern. Super helpful to make sure that you don't oversell your trip. So then also we'll add an option for the family suites. And now I'm also referring to the original group contract that I received from the resort to add a description. And I'm saying we have 20 in this inventory as well. So here we've now put in our room options. Under media, I can show you that we've pulled in images from the property. You can choose this button to make any image the primary. You can also rearrange them. You can choose from the inactive photos. And then there's 3 different ways to add your own. You can paste them. So copy and paste. You can use our web link scraper to pull all of the images off of a web link, or you can upload directly from your computer. I like these images today, so we're going to rock with these and keep going to our booking and pricing, where I'm going to show you how we do the optionality for occupancy rates. So over here on booking and pricing, I want to price things per room because I have multiple options. You can see we put a nice blue button here to remind you about our new occupancy feature. We're now selecting that. I'm able to set up occupancy rates for these rooms.
Wait, hold on, Evan. You need to underline what you just said because this is new. So I don't think everyone knows this, and you just dropped this in there like that.
I did. Yes. I let that little button do too much talking for me. So yes, brand new as of about 2 Fridays or 1 Friday ago, technically, we now have occupancy rates. So this is part of that saving time from people having to go back and forth. We've heard from users, not Tern users, but we've heard from travel advisors that currently, they're getting the interest form, then they're having to do this manual pricing. We figured we could build it in, and we've done a great job doing so. So I want to show you how we're going to do that now. And Grace, thank you for making me reiterate there because this is very important. Yes. So going back to my group contract, right? I'm going to see what my rates are here. I have 500 for single, 600 for double. I'm going to now go ahead and put that in. So I'm going to add a rate for single. I'm going to say that's 500. We're going to add a rate for double, say that's 600. And then family, we have 4 different rates. So I'm going to set up a single, double, triple, and quadruple. Haven't said that word since middle school. So I'm going to add those in. We can do all of those in Tern. And I just got to refer to what my price is again. So it's going to be 575, 800, and then I think it's 1,000 and 1,100. Okay. Now I made this group form myself, this group contract. I'm not sure if these are real prices, but they seem kind of good. I would try to go as a quadruple and split it 4 ways. So from here, I put in these prices. I'm going to go down and I'm going to request that the people are paying in full, which is authorizing their credit card in full. The final payment we're going to say is due September of 2025, a year before the wedding. I think maybe that's a good number. Maybe you want to be closer to the wedding, up to you. For the booking details, we're going to book through Ava Resort. So I'm going to put that here. And then someone asked earlier about terms and conditions and cancellation. So we put those on the authorization page. You'll see it. And you have multiple ways to add it. So you can go ahead and choose if it's fully refundable, partially refundable for the cancellation policy, and put a description. And then for terms and conditions, you can upload a link, a file, or custom text. This is, again, right there on the authorization page. And this is very helpful for you to be able to share this information with those clients. Once you've saved it once in your Tern account, it will stay there every time you use this supplier, just as an FYI. Now, we're also going to finally get down here to the bottom where we're going to put in our commission. So we're getting a commission of $240 per room from Ava Resorts, and we're going to say that commission is expected in 2026, we'll say after the event. So October 1st is our expected date. This is helping you from your reporting and commission tracking standpoint for being able to track that commission. So as you see here, we have this blue box says ready for authorization. That's a good sign. So we're all set here on the rooms. I'm now going to show you some other things that we're going to build in turn for this trip. So using our AI, which is also a new feature, not as new as our occupancy rates, but I want to show you how we're using AI here. So we can draft a destination guide. Super simple. You need to provide one bit of information, and that is where the traveler is going. So by typing in Cancun, Mexico, it'll take about 30 seconds for it to create a beautiful multiple section destination guide that then your travelers are able to reference before the trip, during the trip. Mind you, they have the Tern travel app if they would like to download stuff offline. For those of us who don't travel with internet, they are then able to access that information. So while this finishes loading, I'm just going to scroll up here through my chat to make sure I stay engaged with all of you. Yes, thank you for the answer on the terms and conditions. Glad I was able to solve that. And then, yes, occupancy rates right now, we're working on adding in the actual child rate specifically. Want to be clear on that. You can have it set up with children. It would be a different room type. This is stuff that you can always connect with our team, and we're happy to talk with you about. Let's see, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, some of the stuff I do already plan on getting to, so happy to, just keep going through the demo now, and then we can also save all of these messages and do individual follow-ups. So happy to do that. So I want to show you what we've created. We've very quickly created this Cancun destination guide. It's talking about the climate and seasons, some top highlights and attractions, all for those travelers who are really ready to figure out what that destination has to offer. Simply by clicking add, we've now created this destination guide for this group. We can also do the same thing and do a packing list. I'll go ahead and just skip that for now. But one of the ideas on the logic here is it knows where the traveler is going, right? So it's not going to say a ski coat for Cancun, and it's not going to tell you your snorkel gear for Colorado. So really fun how we're able to use AI, save you time, and give you something specific that you can use with your travelers. Elena, the occupancy rate is per person based off the total amount. So it'll split it. And then also, Lisa, the destination guides you can. So anything you make in turn that shows up on the itinerary, you can save it as a template. So if you get a really good destination guide one day, or you edit it after AI gives it to you, you can actually edit in line. You can save it as a template for the one you want to use in the future. Happy to show you that. So one thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a little cheat because I want to make sure we get through everything today. So I'm going to show you how I'm using our itinerary library to add something I saved previously in Tern. And what I've saved here is actually the wedding schedule. So I've created a wedding day template for this traveler, and I'm going to add this to the itinerary. This is showing the sunset cocktail welcome party, breakfast, the wedding ceremony, beach reception, and after party. So these are all things that I'm just going to quickly add here into this. So I've added an info block about the wedding. I've also added the information about the actual schedule, including the wedding ceremony, the farewell brunch, etc. So very easy for you to, if you're working with a property that has the same schedule or at least a similar one, super fast way to use that as a template. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to add in one more thing to prove that we really have the functionality for this optionality for your travelers. We're going to add in an optional excursion. So I don't know, I got goosebumps just saying it. I hope you all are excited. We're going to add in an optional excursion on Thursday. So picture this for me. We have some people are coming in Monday, some people are coming in Wednesday. Not everyone will be there Thursday. So we want to make this activity optional for those who can make it or those who are interested in making it. So to do so, I'm going to drag in an activity block, and then we're going to also use AI again. So going to your favorite tour provider, it could be Project Expedition, Viator, TripAdvisor, anyone you work with, you can actually copy the link to that tour, paste it in here, submit, and then give this about 30 seconds to create the activity for you. I'm also going to go into the media tab and show you how our image retriever works to pull in images for this as well. So very, very helpful. Pausing while this loads. Oh, it already loaded, but I still said I'd pause. So let me read through a couple of these comments. For example, okay. Yes. So if there's overlapping or open periods, those can be set up with multiple hotels and multiple properties. So you can have a stay in like one location and then a 3 days off and then a stay in another location. That's something we'd be happy to reach out to you specifically. And then flight collection. So if you're travelers, if you're offering flights, you can do flights through Tern, often with groups. A lot of people aren't doing flights, but that's something we can talk about as well, specifically if we have the time. So I want to show you, this is pulled in. So
And
it's
you got
parsed.
one more question, so sorry.
Oh, I
Just
do.
get to
Hey,
Andy.
yes, for Melinda. Thank you. Um, Okay, I see what you mean, Melinda, here by the minimum plus the length of stay. So right now it's going to be per night, per room without a variable night rate. We were just talking about it, and that's an active development from our team to build out these advanced use cases. So apologize on that. Happy again though to meet with you specifically. And as far as authorization, if they're first only making a deposit, that can be set up on the pricing page. So I just set it up as full payment due, but you can also have it set up that they're able to authorize a deposit and then they have a final payment due date. So that can be set up at the group level as well for the activities on the itinerary. If I have a moment, I might be able to go back to that and show you. So we can see here just by pasting this link right here, it's able to pull out exactly what this is. It has the time of the trip, it has the location, it has the description. I'm going to add that to this activity. So last thing I'm going to have to do is put in Project Expedition as my supplier. And now we've very quickly built this. Under the media tab, we can see it pulled in all of these photos about the dolphin package straight from Project Expedition. So this works with all of the websites. I just want to show you, these are the exact photos here. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to say this is our primary photo because that looks like a fun experience right there. So what we'll do now is we're going to check out our booking and pricing. We see it's $159. That was in there. We're going to say the final payment is also due at the end of September, just to keep things the same. It's being booked through Project Expedition. And then this is where the magic happens about our optionality on this event. So right here, we have the make optional button. I'm going to select that. And now this is something the clients can opt into on their itinerary. And for commission, we're going to get $40. So right here, we have put all of this in. We've built this booking with AI, with our image retriever, and it is also optional. So we have very quickly built this itinerary. This is the one that will be used on all of the sub trips. So from here, let's turn on our landing page. So I also have drafted out my landing page in here. Sorry, I've cheated a little bit because I've got all of my resources ready. But I want to call this, it's going to be Maya and Julia's Cancun wedding. So I'm going to label that the title. I'm going to paste in my overview of the event. And here's where we're going to start seeing our connection that allows us to keep the synergy between the actual travel page and the wedding. So if I click add image here, I'm going to actually select all of these images of the couple and of the events that we're planning. And I'm going to upload these as featured images at the top of the landing page. Then from here, I can add an unlimited number of sections. So I'm going to add a section here. I'm going to title this one about the couple. We're going to keep that synergy. And I'm going to also demonstrate how we can use our text and images in the landing page. So by copying this, I'm going to paste that in. We've pulled in their story. We've pulled in that beautiful image of the couple. I'm going to add one more section just to demonstrate another idea of what you would do. You can put information about the accommodations, or you can also put the schedule for the wedding, or you can put details about travel. So I'm going to do the wedding weekend schedule because someone made this and it looks pretty. So we'll go ahead and add it here. Great. So from here, we've created our landing page. We'll be able to see exactly what it looks like in a moment. And I'm going to do the last two steps because this is part demo, part actual training. I'm going to make sure that we have the landing page turned on. So we're going to enable the landing page, enable the self sign up, which is where they're allowed to make their itineraries as part of this group. And then I will point out we have this custom call to action button. So many of you might work with the Knot, or you might work with a different wedding provider. So I'm just going to be agnostic here and say wedding provider, wedding website. And you can actually put a link to that right here. So you can say www.tern.travel, and you can put another button for them to be able to go back and forth between where they found the travel from and back to the wedding page if you wish to do so. You can also have it linked to the registry. You can also have it linked to whatever idea you can come up with for the group that you're working with. So right here, I just have it linking to Tern because I can't think of a better website. And I'm going to show you how this is. So we've turned this on. We've created our itinerary, and now it's time to pretend to be a client. So this is where the magic really happens of the client coming in and making all of their selections themselves. So I'm going to copy this link, which is our landing page link. This is what I'm sharing with the group. I'm sharing it with my potential clients, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it over here on my other web page. So you can see this is all stuff we made live today in the last 15, 20 minutes, I think. We made this entire landing page and the itinerary. So things I'll point out. Here's your image gallery up top. Here's that overview we made. This is the itinerary, and it's actually pulling in all of the activities and events that we put on the original itinerary for this group trip. We have that section with about the couple in the wedding weekend. So we've essentially created, a travel focused wedding website. On the right here, you can see my company. This is where I said it's kind of Florida adjacent. Gator Vacations. This is me, the advisor, and we always keep you front and center. So really helpful, again, for those people who might want to extend their trips, might want to work with you on something in the future. It's kind of a digital business card. So if I'm pretending to be the client, I know I look a lot like the travel advisor, so ignore that. But if I'm pretending to be the client and click sign up today, I'm now able to fill out a form. This form is fully customizable, but for the purpose of this demo, I wanted to make it super simple. But you could go straight into collecting passport information. You could go into collecting additional information like TSA loyalty numbers or allergies. Everything you need to collect can be collected right here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to give myself a fake name. I'm going to be Nick Brown. I'm going to put in my email address. And I'm also going to agree to the terms and conditions of Gator Vacations, which is the travel agency that I'm booking this through. Right here, I'll show is the first example of optionality here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a traveler. So I'm going to say Stephanie Brown is the other traveler. Actually got to put the last name in the right spot. And I'm going to give them an email as well. Okay. So I've added two travelers. And I want to show you why this is important, because when it comes to the optionality of rooms, the number of travelers is also relevant with us. So by submitting this, we now are brought to this page where we're able to select our rooms in our check-in and check-out. So we'll select our date as August 31st, and you can see that we've actually blurred out the other dates that they're not able to select. So there's no overextending on the actual room block here. So we'll say they're staying for a week. You can see we have now pulled in the family suite is $800 based on double occupancy. So $400 each in this case. The Ocean View King Suite is $600 based on occupancy of two travelers as well. So if there are rules though, where basically a traveler is not able to stay in a double occupancy, or sorry, a double occupancy is not able to stay in the King Suite, for example, say they have to go into a different suite, you can also set that up. So in this case, if I had 4 travelers or 3 travelers, my only option available would be the family suite. So this is taking that off your plate of having to do the math. Something else you can do, very helpful, is multiple rooms. So this traveling group can actually select multiple rooms. So if you think families traveling with kids, their parents want to have one room, the kids are going to go crazy and jump around in the other room, then you can actually split that up with no added work on your end. So right here, I'm going to select this King Suite. I can see the description of it. I'm now going to submit that as my choice. And now I'm prompted to select the optional add-on for the dolphin excursion. So I'm able to read the description of that. I can see that activity sounds fun. And based on the arrival date of myself, I'm going to add that to my trip. So submitting the selection, we're going to show you how this math has been done. It has pulled in our selection for this room. It's also pulled in our dolphin package, and we are going to authorize both of those items in full today. Going back to that deposit question, you could have it set up where they only need to authorize the deposit today. You can have it set up with installments. There's various ways to price in Tern. We're happy to dive in, and our support team's happy to help you with that as well. And quick plug for Tern and Learn, under our help page, we have a self-guided LMS program, which can dive into the very specifics of anything you're thinking of. So here, just like Amazon, I go on Amazon a lot, so that's what I always say. You add your credit card, and then you're accepting the terms and conditions again. So good protection for your business. The traveler is then e-signing. So this is Nick Brown, and they are agreeing to that signature. All of this prior to their submission. So this is the point of magic. I'm going to reopen my chat. I apologize. It's kind of all over the place. I'm going to try to reopen my chat here and see what's going on.
We got a few good ones. I can read some of them to you,
Yeah,
Evan.
great. So if you want to
Someone
point out some of your favorites, that would be good.
Yeah, totally. So Jennifer was just asking, is this room set up for individual bookings too?
Yes, so the room setup will reflect based on the number of travelers. So if someone's just booking as an individual, they would be booking the single occupancy, and then they would be able to choose any of the rooms that will have them based on single occupancy rates. So that's my answer to that. I'm still kind of scrolling through. Grace, do you have another one for
Yeah.
me?
We were wondering, did the Dolphin package pull in all the travelers and can they choose how many people are going on the excursion?
Yes, they're able to choose if it's one traveler or both travelers going on that excursion. Um, and then it should price appropriately based on that. So if it's priced, what I did, and I just realized this when I was doing the pricing for the dolphin excursion, I never changed it from total price to price per person. So if I were to have that priced per person, it would reflect correctly. So thank you for catching that. But that was actually an error on my end, like I said, first demo, but thank you for asking, Denise, because I think that's very relevant.
We also
Um,
have one asking about the flexible dates. So to confirm with the flexible dates, you have to set pricing as per night rate. You can't use per room? Question mark.
for the flexible dates that I had for flexible dates, you can have it per night to reflect the actual price per night for the room. So when you're doing the flexible dates, you would have to have it priced per night.
Oh,
And then per person deposit rates, Kate, that one, we can get back to you on it just because it's part of this extra development of our occupancy and so on. So we're happy to give you a little more detailed insight into that. Okay, perfect. So let's do some more live magic. And still, we're pretending to be the client here. And I'm going to show you what they've gotten, right? This orange button, it's like tempting me right now to click. So I click this, and now we'll see that this has created a sub trip for the Brown group. It's pulled in the itinerary. If you're a Tern user and you've only ever used the individual parts of Tern for, individual travelers or, families, then you'll recognize this. We have our full on itinerary in here. You can expand to see details of everything. You can read this info that we uploaded. And all of this is now customized for this traveler based on the selections they made. So the selections, their check-in, their check-out date, their room selection, who's staying in that room are all in there. So we're very happy that that has been a quick process for the traveler. You can see over here on pricing, they've authorized this. And now we will talk about your side again on Tern. How do you see this? Like, what does it look like? How do you manage it and pay? That's probably the most important thing we have remaining. So going back to Tern, I'm now going to go into the overview, and you can see we have this trip. This is the Brown portion of the group, right? It's hard to say group and also big group, but this is the Brown couple. They're going to select in here. And as the advisor, you're able to click on the authorization tab and see what has been authorized. So in this case, they've authorized the resort, they've authorized the package. Clicking on one of these, we are then able to scroll down and view the card details. Don't worry, this is a totally fake card. There's no liability in looking at this. This is my fake card in here with the billing address. And then your job is to simply transfer this payment information to the supplier. So if you're working with a aggregator or you're working with an individual property, however that looks for the business, you're able to simply transfer that over and then mark as paid. So at the end of one of these sub trips, you'll have everything marked as paid. You'll also mark it as booked. And then you can add in the confirmation number that you've gotten. So we'll say this is from Ava. I've gotten confirmation number Ava with all of those numbers. And that information is now shared with the client. So just by doing this, the client now will be able to see that confirmation on their visual of Tern. So if I go ahead and I've published it to make sure it's updated, I'll refresh this. You can see now the client sees that the 600 has been paid. They know what that charge is on their card. And then on the overview, they're actually able to click into this, and up here in the top left, that's their real confirmation number. So really, really helpful here. Looking at the questions here, Grace, shout out to the feedback team for that little blue button in the bottom right. We're very happy to review those feedbacks that we receive. And then how does this look for multiple people in regards? Okay, so then for anyone who signs up, they're then able to see their actual sub trip. So like for the Brown traveling couple here, this is all exclusively for them. They're able to go into this pricing. And for them to access it, they don't require a Tern login. What they're doing is they're logging in with their email. So just with their email, they get a confirmation code to make sure that it's them, and then they're able to view this. If they'd like to create a Tern account, they're more than welcome to. But this is basically their live subtrip page. Question here about the place the couple can see. So if you're looking for the couple to be able to see it, they would theoretically have to be logged into your Tern. But I want to show you what you can share with the couple. So what you can share with the couple is you're able to, oops, this is actually, I need to go back to the actual group. You're able to reference this list here for all of the people who have signed up. So Nick Brown has signed up, and eventually there would be 30 or 40 or so people signed up for this trip. That would be the way that the client's able to reference it. Right now, you can share it with them with a screenshot, or you're able to copy and paste. But what we're actively working on is some additional ways to export this information to help your clients with that visibility. We know that that's a request, and happy to share that with you.
Evan, we got a number of new questions here in the chat. Do you mind if I just read you a few?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Is there a place that the couple can then see a list of who has signed up and booked their room?
Yeah, so that's the one we're working on the export for, so that way you can share that in an easier manner. But right now you're screenshotting this list of sub trips, or you're copying and pasting these names.
Okay, cool. Patricia had a question, but I'm not 100% sure. That knew as well as where the confirmation show. Patricia, do you mind re-asking your question? I'm not 100% sure I follow. We've got one from Jamie saying she had to step away, but do the Browns now have a way to add on anything else?
So they do indirectly. So Jamie, this is part of the idea of, I'm happy to answer this. This is part of the idea where now they have this sub trip. They have your contact information right here, and they're actually able to call you, email you, request revisions, and then you can build on a bespoke experience before this wedding or after this wedding event, all through Tern. So they don't have a way of adding it themselves directly, but they can reach right out to you and say, hi, I'm interested in staying in Cancun for another week. Will you be able to assist me with that? And that's how that would work there. Jamie, I'm going now, or Grace, I'm going down to the next question. So
Yeah,
Ricky, those questions, or those items that weren't ready for authorization, those are all included. So those are not things that will be authorized on the trip. But then something as well that you can do to clean it up a little bit is when you're putting those in, I just dropped in that itinerary really quickly, but you can mark them as no authorization required. So we can make sure there's a follow-up to you on that question. That's part of that. We'll save these and follow up on it. Yes, if you want to see the PDF, I can show you. So let me actually allow PDF downloads while I'm reading the next question. So this is the itinerary. If I put this here, up here in the top right, we can download the itinerary as a PDF. So I just want you to be able to see that. If I pop that open here, this has created, it keeps your branding at the top. There's your cover page with the photo, all of the trip details. This is that destination guide, the venue details, and then we actually have the day by day. So day one, this is the hotel. And then for the days that there are activities planned, you can see we have breakfast, we have cocktail party. So that's a quick one right there. I think we'll go ahead actually and share this landing page with everyone who came. Like we can just link this to you. You're all just signing up for my trip, so don't sign the terms and conditions, please. But you can see how that is. So that's here. Danny says, how does this look like for multiple folks who have signed up? Oh, that was the one I answered. We actually might have answered that twice already. And then Patricia is saying, yes, the confirmation number is showing. That's really great because they're seeing it on their individual itineraries. And then want to keep seeing. As far as quick send an email to everyone, that's a feedback point that we've been working on. So very aware of that, not at the moment, but you can have automation set where they're sending to all of the sub trips. So if you want to have on final payment email reminders, you can. If you want to have, a day before arrival reminder emails, you can. So stuff like that, we can send you more details on. And then Larissa, yes, you can collect signups for the wedding through the landing page and then turn on the itinerary. And then you can request authorization on those individual itineraries. Way to do that. And then PDF downloads are on a per trip basis. Feedback is received because I saw a like on that as well. But yes, you do have to turn it on per trip. And then automations. Automations are a whole nother kind of webinar thing here. I actually want to shout out, I think I saw Chloe on here, maybe Jennifer's here. Jennifer and Chloe have done previous live trainings and many future live trainings I'm sure are coming about workflows and automation. So I want to shout that out. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're going to be doing a bunch more of these. We're going to be giving you guys a little QR code at the end that you can scan. And one of the things I'll shoot in there is that when we do an automations training, you guys will be the first to know to sign up for that. So if you're curious and getting the invite to that, just make sure you scan that code at the end. So yeah, I think a bunch of you are liking that. So that sounds good. We'll do that. Thanks, guys. And
Yeah,
maybe we send them the users conference group itinerary too, just, so that they can compare the difference.
yes, there you go, Grace. We will also send you the users conference group itinerary. I wanted to bring something back about the users conference. I know some people were talking about traveling solo or, not looking for a roommate, stuff like that. We're happy to assist in that. We've had a lot of people kind of mention that they would maybe be interested in going with someone. So feel free to, we'll put some information about reaching out to make sure that you have a resource there. Okay, CTA be added to sub trips. Yes, really, really cool thing about Tern. This is kind of one of our overall features in Tern is you can collaborate. So I want to show this off. So you can actually collaborate on the group level and I can invite people. So Grace, I'm about to invite you. I think you're just Grace at Tern
Yep.
Travels. I'll invite you and we don't have two Graces yet, but now you're a collaborator. So Grace has full admin access. She can actually go in, view, and modify sub trips as well. So super helpful for when it comes to managing these activities and being able to like go in and specifically pull out that credit card information, do the bookings, so on. Okay, I see. Maybe clients. So, I mean, if they were a Tern user and they wanted to modify, I'm not 100% sure. I have an answer for you on that, but we'll get back to you if we can. And then, yeah, Grace, I'm liking your message about this workflow automation webinar. And with that in mind, I want to go back to my original presentation. So bear with me as I scroll through my slides. I want to pop this up before anyone starts logging off. You've all earned it. We've been here for 52 minutes. So I think it's the appropriate time to give you your welcome gift. Grace, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what we're getting here?
Yeah, 100%. And let me just see if I can turn myself back on Spotlight. There we go. Hello, everyone again. Yeah, so make sure that you guys scan this QR code. We're going to be sending you a discount code for $10 off your first 6 months of Turn. And then also we'll be sending you a free resource for you guys, like a ebook that we put together related specifically to groups and destination weddings. And then we're also going to be letting you know when we do our next training, and you'll be the first to be invited to that. And we don't want this to be like thousands of people. We want to make sure we keep it really specific and niche so we can answer your questions. So those are going to start booking up. So just make sure if we send some of those out, you'll be able to see it. Um, yeah, if you have any questions about the discount code or anything like that, you can always send us a message. But yeah, scan that QR code and you'll be able to get all of that information there. Oh, perfect. Now you've got Evan's email.
Yeah,
Guys,
I've
have
given
any other
access my
trainings you want?
email.
Yeah, there you go.
You all deserve it.
If you guys have any other trainings that you'd like us to do, send me an email to grace@tern.travel. Um, and Corey, yeah, send us a message. We'll be able to answer your question because it depends on what you guys currently have set up and what your subscriptions are and all that sort of stuff. So just send us a note and I'll be able to help with that. Any upcoming features for the group solution that the team is working on? So many things. I personally know behind the scenes that they're just working on so many awesome stuff. I would say if there's certain features that you're looking for, I threw it in the chat before, but make sure you just go to like your trip dashboards and you can click the help center and then, submit feedback. Also in that like little pop-up chat box that you get on your website, you can also, there's a big blue button on there that you can submit a feature request on. So take a look there. Um, Jennifer, you can still scan that QR code and we're just going to send out the promo code. So even if you guys are a user, still scan the QR code because we'll probably still be sending you all the rest of the resources as well.
Yes, this will be our little private group of people who took the time this afternoon to hang out with us to make sure you have resources relevant to today. You also have, the different resources that Grace is creating, kind of almost leaked the secret there, but that we're very happy to make sure that you have that. And then, yeah, a little bit more on like features the group is for groups that we're working on. It all comes down to user feedback, and we have a list of user feedback. We spoke with many of you at the Romance Travel Forum, and we're actively, taking that feedback and working on those little things that can just make it all much better. We're very proud of what we have today. We're very happy that you all are users. We're very happy to talk to our users and hear the success that they're having with it. But we know we can always be better. So it's you all participating today with your questions, your feedback. Really, really happy that you were here, and thank you for sharing. So with
Have
that
any
one,
last pieces of like feedback of features you want? Like we said, you could submit it there. We're also going to take the notes from this chat and send it to our team just so that they can see the feedback as well. We're going to be sharing the recording on YouTube, so feel free to take a look there when we do that. And then make sure you guys, two other things, users conference, come, or at least if you want to learn more about it, send me an email to grace@tern.travel. I promise you guys, I'm working on the itinerary for it right now and all of the speakers that are coming, and it's going to be insane. And then, like I said, we're trying to make sure that we include more resources for you. If you're not already in our Facebook group, of course, most of you, that's probably how you found out about us, but also our social media now, our Instagram account especially, is doing bite-sized chunks of all these feature updates. So we're doing literally a whole season of stuff right now on all of the recent updates, like groups, on all the improvements that we've made. So if you guys want to see all the different things that maybe Evan's talked about, but also some of the newer things that we've just released, take a look at our Instagram, which is @TernSoftware, and then our YouTube as well. We'll have all of these upcoming webinars. All right, Evan, I think we're there. Yeah, Andrea, you can totally bring your husband. If you guys are like, I really want to go, but I don't have anyone to come with me. Andrea, do you want to drop me your email or send me a message with your email and I can reach out to you about it? Also, if you guys are like, I really want to go solo, I don't have a roommate, we'll help match you with someone if you're open to it, or you could just book a cabin yourself individually. It's totally up to you. But if you guys have any questions or want to reach out about users conference in particular, awesome. I'll save your email. Again, my email is grace@tern.travel. Thank you guys so much.
all right. Yes, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for spending time with us, and look forward to hopefully meeting some of you in person. Thank
Yeah.
you for my first demo and happy to, spend this time. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you guys. Have a great one. Bye.